So we're in the user schema. The user schema is basically having, or it uses the mongoose, and it has properties called the name, the surname, username, password, and the email address. And then moving along to the user that is in the roots folder. In the roots folder, we basically have the code that is for authentication and login. So the user will register, it will hash the user's password, and then it will save it into the database, and then we would log in. So when we log in, we'd find the username and the password, and then if it's not found, then we would return this message with the status code, and if the password is not found, we would return this authentication field with the status code. And then here is basically the creation of the token. So if the user logs in successfully, the token will be created with the message authentication successful, and yeah, a long token will be shown. And then in the check authentication, we have middleware that is used for authentication, which is basically the JSON Web Token library. And then it's used for verification, so we will verify if this token is the same along with the other token, and if not, we would return the invalid token message. So when we run, we would come here, but before running, we need to write down the command for it to run first. Then it should display a message they connected successfully. Then would first register the user like we did before. Once registering the user, this is the output we would get with the password hashed, and then we would send a request again to check if we would actually log in. So we'd send the request, and if successful, this should be the message and the token generated. But if there's an error, for example, I'll remove that and I would send the request again. I'd get that the authentication failed, meaning that the passwords were not the same, and I'd put that back. And then I also created methods here. So if I tried to send a request for, not that one, if I tried to send a request here, I had not logged in yet, so it wouldn't allow me to log in without